But self-love is not about waiting to be chosen. It's about choosing yourself again and again and again. All summer long, we're exploring what it means to come back to ourselves with softness, joy, and radical cariño.
Sabrosura pa' ti que qué.
Welcome to Café con Pam, the bilingual podcast que comparte nuestras stories sin censura. I'm your host, Pam Covarrubias, and this is a special series called Verano con Self-Love. All summer long, we're exploring what it means to come back to ourselves with softness, joy, and radical cariño. From healing Calladita Culture wounds to romanticizing our daily lives, this season is about choosing you every single time. I know the world is falling apart and everything's on fire, and more than ever, I do believe this is the time to tend to ourselves and take care of ourselves. Let's dive in. You know what's frustrating? Losing your wallet. And you know sometimes what's even more painful? Realizing your almost full punch card from your favorite cafecito spot is now gone. But at least, even when your cafecito points have vanished, at BMO, if you lose your debit card, they'll print you a new one instantly at a local branch. Plus, you can use your phone to freeze your debit card to prevent any unauthorized transactions. Learn more at bmo.com. Conditions apply. Accounts provided in the United States by BMO Bank and a member FDIC. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Un Verano con Self-Love. This is a 5-part storytelling series where I take you through the 5 love stories. Some romantic, some platonic, some about me, some about parts of me. And each one reflects a different wound of Calladita culture, what it means to reclaim your voice, your worth, and your heart. These are not perfect stories. They are real, they are tender, and they're here to remind you that healing can be messy, funny, painful, and beautiful all at once. Go grab your cafecito, get comfy, and let's begin your summer of self-love. El día de hoy vamos a hablar de la historia número 2, El Infinito, which is the wound of commitment. One summer, I was walking into the art building, arms full, dragging this giant easel that was half my size, literally. I was probably sweaty, probably annoyed, probably full of paint or chalk, or not chalk, granite, pencil. Absolutely not at all in a romantic headspace. And there he was, walking into the building, dressed like he had stepped out of a Ralph Lauren ad. I mean, at the time. You know, that clean, casual summer look. And we locked eyes, just like that. Me walking out the building, him walking into the building, and neither of us broke the stare. It wasn't awkward. It was familiar. Like we had already met in another lifetime and we were just remembering. He smirked. I smiled. And we kept walking. A few days later, I get a DM on Facebook. Remember when Facebook was a college thing? And it said, "Hey, I saw you outside of Potter Hall," which was the art department, "and I would love to meet you." Well, it turns out he had graduated the year before and was at the building only to see a recital from his best friend. Somehow, he figured out who I was. I mean, after all, I was one of 2 brown girls on that campus, so it wasn't hard to figure out. So we met up at this local coffee shop that also doubled as a wine bar because, of course, we did. You're in a small town, college town, so you make whatever you want out of a business. And we stayed until they closed, which was like 9, 10 o'clock. And then we wandered out. We found that a local play was happening right next door. And we walked into the theater without tickets because he just knew how to take up space. And he just was like, we can. And we stayed until intermission. Then we were like, okay, we're done with this. We kept walking and talking all night like we had known each other for years. It was easy, it was cosmic. It was the kind of connection that makes you feel like maybe this is the one the stories are written about. But then, of course, he left. He went back to DC and yeah, we did. We keep talking. We kept talking. And not long after, he decided that city life was not for him anymore. He told me he wanted space, he wanted stillness. He said he was done with the suit and tie life from the big city. So he took a job at a literal ranch in the middle of nowhere. And the only way to reach him was through a spotty self service. There was no internet at the time. The only way he could get internet was to go miles, acres, literally, to the front office of the ranch where he worked at. And he lived in a little tiny loft cabin in the middle of nowhere. So we talked on the phone almost every night, static filled, short conversations where we strained so hard to hear each other. And he would always get very frustrated. And one night, it was raining there. The signal was terrible, and suddenly the line cut out. I heard a crash, then nothing, then silence for months. Months. 5 or 6 months later, probably, like literal months, I got an email. And the email said something like, "Hey, I was so upset I couldn't hear you that night. So I threw my phone against the wall. It broke. I never replaced it. I don't know if you want to talk to me, but I wanted to let you know I'm alive." And I was like, "What?" By that time, I had moved on. I was already in a different relationship, or at least I tried to. Fast forward a few years. I'm walking into a local bar to meet up with my then boyfriend. Who's the person I see? El Infinito. I hadn't seen him since that email. And all I could think was, wait, what? He gave the best hugs, like, those real sink into it, full body hugs. And what we could both do when we saw each other was to hug each other because it was like, whoa, what are you doing here? OMG. And for a second, it was like no time had passed. But then I remembered, wait, I'm here for somebody else. Somebody's waiting for me at this bar. So I was like, hold on. It's great to see you, but I have a person waiting for me. So goodbye. Again. Then many years later, I get another message. He had joined the Marine Corps and he was in San Diego where I lived. And this message said, "Hey, I just graduated and I'll be able to leave base soon. I would love to see you." And of course, I said, Mira, at this point, why not? Why not? I mean, this time we lived in the same city, so we started seeing each other again. And just like before, it felt easy. It was magical. And maybe, just maybe, I thought maybe this is finally the right time. But here's the thing about El Infinito. He was always chasing something, a dream, a new life, maybe even another version of himself. And no matter how many times the universe threw us into the same room, he could never stay long enough to truly choose me. And that's when I realized I had to choose myself. So, what I learned from El Infinito is that the ones who orbit back might feel like destiny. But self love is not about waiting to be chosen, it's about choosing yourself again and again and again. We all know this. Talking about money is not always the most comfortable. Pero our friends from Savvy Ladies make it easier. And now in Espanol. You don't have to feel the pressure to translate for your mamá or your tías because Savvy Ladies has their whole site en nuestro idioma. Y ahora they can easily access their free resources like talleres, clases, y mi favorita es la línea gratis para enviar preguntas. Their free financial helpline en donde puedes conectar with a trusted financial expert. Whether you need financial guidance in English or in Espanol, Savvy Ladies is here to support you. Visit savvyladies.org, that is SAVVYLADIES.org, para empezar your financial freedom. Your experiment for the week is to write a letter to yourself. Not the one you know now, but the version of you that kept waiting for someone to finally show up. Write to her like you're the one she's been waiting for. And tell her, I choose you. You are my priority. I am here and I will stay. And let your words be the commitment that will never be broken. Si te gustó este episodio, please share it with someone you may love. If you are liking el chisme que te estoy contando, next episode is going to be about La Inolvidable. If you are tuning in from the free version of Café con Pam, in 2 weeks, you're going to get La Inolvidable, The Wound of Worth. Gracias por estar aquí y sigue brillando.
Sabrosura pa' ti que